Alright, let's start. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Alright, so welcome back to the marketing class. And for tonight class, the topic is about marketing strategy. Yeah. So last time the accordingly with the syllabus, the topic for the session 2 is developing the marketing strategy. So I add one more books for your reference. I already sent it through the Google Classroom. Supposedly you all receiving it already. So the book is about the marketing strategy. Let me share it to you. Let's display. Okay, so this is the marketing strategy based on the first principles and data analytics, written by Robert Palmatier and Srihari Sridhar. So this is our reference book for the these topics and also for the next topic as well. So basically we have two books now. First from Kotler and the second one from Palmatier. So regarding the book for the Kotler, I will send you the videos on my teachings, and for that we are going to use the second book for our lectures. Yeah. So for the Kotler lectures, you can have it by watching the videos for the lectures, and the second book is using the Palmatier book. All right, so you're gonna have two books for your reference regarding the marketing subjects. All right, let's do it. So regarding the marketing strategy, based on first principle and data analytics, there are four principles. Yeah. So let me wait a second. Okay. Okay. So okay. So first is that the topic is the topic. Wait a second. Okay. The first principle is that all customers differ. And then the second principle is that all customers change. The third principle, all competitors react. And the fourth principle, all resources are limited. So this is the principles that we are going to use in order to develop our marketing strategy. So we will discuss this for tonight class. We will discuss this in a general level. So we will discuss the whole four of the principles, and then for the next week session, we will go deep into each of the principles. We will do the demonstration. We will have a workshop regarding each of the principles. So last time I discussed with the head of program. So the head of program suggests that we should go more into the analytics, and you can learn about the theory from the videos from the previous lectures that I delivered. All right, so this is regarding the marketing strategy using principles and data analytics. Right, so the agenda for tonight, the first principles is that all customer is differ. Yeah. So the objective is to understand and effectively use the fundamental frameworks, process, and analysis tools for your marketing strategy, and then use the first principle of the marketing strategy to solve business problem and improve business performance. So let me start it from the brief history of a marketing strategy. So the strategy arose from a military context. Yeah. The forces available must be employed with such a skill that even in the absence of absolute superiority, relative superiority, it attains at the decisive point. So in the military approach, their objective is to achieve superiority. Yeah. So in the military approach, the strategy is to achieve superiorities. This is coming from the 18th century. Yeah? And then within the 80s and 90s, the scholars add two elements to apply the strategy concept to the business. So they add sustainable and performance. So within the scholars' approach, the strategy concept is to make the differential advantage sustainable, and the idea that the objective of any business strategy is to enhance the firm's performance. So they want to emphasize on the sustainable. So when you have a strategy, you want to have a sustainable advantage. The advantage that is sustainable for a long term. And number two, to enhance firm performance. And in the 90s, okay, that is in the 60s and 70s, yeah? And in the 90s, the marketer argued that it must come from the perspective of the customer. So, coming from the 18th centuries, the strategy is about superiority because it is about military. So, when they think about strategy, it is about superiority. And in the 60s and 70s, they think about sustainable advantage and business performance, company performance. And in the 90s, the marketing argue that it's not about that only, but it's also about the customer. So they start to think that the customer determine the strategy. Yeah? In the 60s and 70s, performance and sustainable determines the strategy. And in the 18th, superiority determines the strategy. So those 5 key elements are found critical for the marketing strategy. Those are the key elements are, first, to leads to differential advantage over our competitor. So this one is superiority. To take down our competitors. Yeah. To compete with our competitors, we need to have a superiority within a product, services. We need to have a superiority product or services. And number two is sustainability. We need to keep our business having a competitive sustainability advantage. Yeah, competitive sustainability advantage. That our product having a sustainability advantage. And then number three is that this strategy should link to firm performance. The strategy will drive sales. The strategy will decrease costs. And then number four, that the strategy is, we see the strategy within the customer's perspective, that we put the customer as our objectives. And then the fifth is that those strategies will guide through our decisions and actions. So we need to develop actions and decisions which support our objective in the superiority, sustainability, performance, and customer perspective. Any questions? Araso? Capish?
Pronto. Yeah.
All right. And then we come into when we talk about the customer, we talk about there is what we call customer centricity as the key to an effective marketing strategy. Customer-centric perspective is key aspect, since the customer ultimately determines strategy's success or failures. So if you are not customer-centric, then you might end up having failures in your business. So let's say that your product supposedly fulfilling customer needs and wants. So that's why it called customer-centric. So the shift in focus, so there is a shift in focus from industry to firm and to the customer that happen in the business. So previous days, so the economists will tend to take industry level perspective as their point of view. So the economists will see whether the GDP is going up, the export going down, the purchasing power parity going down, going up, recession happening. So the economists will tend to see things from the industry level perspective. And the management scholars, they adopt firm-centric perspective. The firm-centric, they talk about what is the five forces of Porter, yeah, customer, the buyer, uh, 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 the buyer position, the substitute product substitutes, entry barrier, etc. So they talk about the five forces, the Porter five forces on the firm centric perspective. But now it is more into customer. It is even a smaller unit of analysis. We talk about the customer, yeah, that determines our marketing strategy. Yeah. But the industry, the firm, explain variation in the firm performance. Yeah. So we also took consideration on the industry level perspective and firm centric perspective. But nowadays, we even took customer, a smaller unit of analysis for our marketing strategy. So marketing strategy now consists of decisions and actions which focus on building sustainable differential advantage relative to the competitors in the mind of customers to create value for the stakeholders. So the marketing strategy consists of how you develop decisions and actions which focus on creating sustainable competitive advantage relative to the competitors, to the firm-centric industries, in the mind of customers to create a value for the stakeholders. So, example, when you having you have a customer, and then the customer is heterogen, hetero, yeah, and then you have a competitive corporate actions, corporate response, and also the industry level. So if we see that this is a 3 level, this is the industry, this is the firms, this is the customer. Your strategy should cover all of them. Yeah, should cover all of them. That your decision and action focus on building sustainable competitive advantage relative to the competitors, which is influenced by the industry, and also in the mind of the customer to create value for the stakeholders. So it is quite comprehensive when you are thinking about the marketing strategy. Not only customer per se, but also firms and industry. Any questions? So far so good? Miss Effie, any questions?
All good, Pak.
All right. So, what is the difference? So sometimes people asking, what is the difference between corporate strategy and marketing strategy? When we talk about corporate strategy, we talk about the overall scope and direction of a firm and the way in which its various business operates together to achieve the particular goals. So we talk about the overall scope on the corporate strategy. There are mergers, acquisitions, yeah, cost leadership, customizations, etc. You name it. The corporate strategy is there. But when we talk about marketing strategy, we talk about decisions and actions. Focus on building a sustainable differential advantage relative to the competitor in the mind of customer to create value for stakeholders. Both corporate and marketing strategy influence human resource, operations, and research and development. Why is that? Why is that? So, human resource, operations, R&D, they support the corporate strategy, but also support the marketing strategy. Let's say the example like Starbucks. Yeah. Starbucks, when Starbucks recruit the employee, they want to ensure that the employee having the same cultures in all of the Starbucks outlet. Yeah. So in the marketing, they recruit marketing people. Yeah. But also they need to have the employee having the same value. Yeah. The corporate value towards the all outlets. So HR supporting both of the corporate strategy and the marketing strategy. Also in operation. So in operation, when we talk about vendors and then the delivery of raw material, delivery of products, we talk about the marketing there. It's about the process, yeah, the process in the marketing process. We talk about the physical evidence, yeah, of the marketing process. So operation, while serving the corporate strategy, operation also supporting the marketing strategy as well. Yeah? And when they can get the product, the cost price, then it will influence the price in the marketing strategy. Yeah? R&D, we can, when the R&D develop the features, yeah, of the product, so that will determine the brand name of our products. Let's say Apple, when Apple create new features, they also will determine, that will also determine the brand name of Apple. Yeah, so that will also influence the marketing strategy. So these HR, operation, and R&D supporting the corporate strategy, and in return supporting as well the marketing strategy. So that is the difference between corporate strategy and marketing strategy, where HR, operation, and R&D in the middle of them both. Any questions? Yes, Emma?
Can we say marketing strategy is the same with business strategy, or both are different?
marketing strategy, and business strategy. Business in the more into the corporate strategy. You mean the business in the other word is the corporate strategy?
No, I mean for how you say it, yeah.
Yes, okay, I got it. In the corporate strategy, corporate strategy separated into the business level strategy. Yeah, business level strategy, and then business level, industry level, business level strategy, and then there are also merger and acquisition, and then corporate level strategy. So that is on the business level. So corporate strategy also, sorry, corporate strategy is different than business level strategy. Business level strategy goes into the cost leadership, customization, and then combination of cost leadership and customization, differentiation. Yeah, differentiation. Corporate level strategy, we talk about the merger and acquisition. So the corporate level, merger, acquisition, and then takeover. So we talk about that in the corporate. Marketing strategy is different. Business level talk about cost leadership strategy and differentiation, and combination of cost leadership and differentiation. This is business level. So the business level will business level, if we say, okay, we are going to the cost leadership, so marketing strategy will interpret that. Yeah. Corporate strategy saying that we go export, import. Okay. Corporate level strategy will telling the business, telling the company that, okay, we are going to export. This is corporate level. We need to export. We need to merger. We need to acquisition. And then business level will tell, okay, in order to support the corporate level strategy, we conduct cost leadership, differentiation, or combination of cost leadership and differentiation. After the business level strategy telling that, okay, our strategy is differentiation, marketing strategy will determine their decision and action, focus on differentiation, but relative to the competitors, in the mind of the customers, to create value for the stakeholder. So this is by level, Emma. Araso?
Araseo, Pak.
All right, cool. Any other questions? No questions? All right, let's continue. And then, why is marketing strategy the key to long-term financial performance? So, financial performance, in financial performance, we talk about balance sheet and income statement. In income statement, there is firm's revenue. Firm's revenue will be determined by market demand. Let's say 1 million customer, and then firm market share. So compared to the competitor, our share is only 10%, times the firm average selling price, let's say $5. So it will be 1 million times 10% times $5 equal to 500,000. So the firm's profit will be equal to the sales revenue times the firm's gross margin, which is 20%, and then firm sales and marketing expense, the expense for the marketing, sales revenue times 20%, minus the expense of marketing, and minus the general and administrative expense. So we have 30,000 US dollar. So marketing strategy, large amount of research document, reading the impacts of financial performance, yeah. But many people do not realize the scope of influence on sales and profit. So marketing, the impact of marketing towards financial performance is that they grow the market size. They create new product and services with lower price. So by introducing new products, introducing new services with lower price, you grow your market size. Okay. And then marketing strategy also grow share, increase the market share of wallet. Yeah. By giving better products, better service compared to competitor. So when we talk about growing share, increasing share of wallet, we talk about the competitor. We need to give better product and service than competitor. Higher loyalty to retain the customer, higher loyalty program to retain the customer, or steal your customer with the acquisition strategy. So take over your competitor's customer to grow your sales. So that is marketing strategy. Acquire your competitor customer. There is a marketing strategy there. You need to do partnership, you create affiliate marketing, yeah, take over your competitor customer. And then better price and margin. Because by improving loyalty, improving brand image, improving relationship, improving the products, targeting to the right customer, it will also increase your financial performance, increase the firm sales revenue. And a good marketing strategy also will reduce costs because there is word of mouth there. Word of mouth is free, no cost. Yeah, good brand also no cost. If you have a good brand, then no cost. Or reducing cost. When you have a good brand, it will reduce the cost. And you have a good relationship, it will reduce the cost. When people seeing you and the competitor, they will choose you. They will come to you rather than the competitor if you have a good relationship with them. And retain with the loyalty to reduce cost. So this growing market size, share of wallet, better price and margin will impact towards the firm sales revenue. Yeah. So that's why marketing strategy is the key to long-term financial performance. Questions? Any questions? No questions? All right. So we have a lot of slides, so I skip for the most important. Yeah. So next we talk about we start to go into the first principles of marketing strategy. So why we need to introduce it to you, the first principle approach to the marketing strategy? Why not only the regular strategy? Why we need to come into the first principle strategies? Because currently managers are being overwhelmed with more and more data, big data, analytical tools, yeah, process, research techniques. It is improving a lot. So we have now the analytic tools. We have there Python, R, SAS, yeah, where in the last 20 years there is no Python. Python is available in the last 5 years now. R the last 10 years. SAS the last 15 years. Yeah. So and then a lot of research techniques is improving. So there is now neural network. There a lot of cutting edge techniques that is happening now. So it will be difficult if we only focus on the cases, because everybody, because the cases 5 years ago maybe not relevant in current situation. 5 years ago there is no Python, yeah, no SAS, no R, no neural network. Yes. So it will be quite not really relevant with the current situation. So we are focusing more into data. Yeah. So because there is hard to find examples for every marketing problem. Often what works for the case will not work for your firm, because you have different customer, yeah, you have different stage of industry life cycle, different competitive situation, and different resources. So let's say last time they use SPSS, now you use Python. Last time you only focus on the competitive situation is not severe. Currently it is more intense. The stage is there is a preliminary or investing, and then a maturity stage, growing, sustain, increase, decline. So different states will give different states will not work for the other states. When you have the stage A, it will not work for stage B. It will not work for stage C, and it will not work for stage D. A is the grow stage, B is the sustain stage, C is the mature stage, D is for the decline stage. So when we having a case, then it is not yet easy to be implemented in our firm. So the key requirement for making good marketing decision is to identify underlying factors on which the decision depends. So the first principle approach argues that marketing strategy is the pursuit of solution to your problem and organize all framework, process, and analysis to solve this problem. So we focus more into the data. What kind of data do you have? What kind of solution that we can develop to solve your marketing problem. Yeah. So not based on case. Different data, okay, the same data can be a lot of approach on solving the problem. So that is why that marketing strategy is the pursuit of solution to your marketing problem. Yeah. So the approach in this class, we are going to be focused more into the marketing analytics. All right, questions? Yes.
So first principles is the name of the terminology. First principles.
Oh,
It's not like first and second.
Yeah. So the first principles is separated into
Terminology.
4 terminology. So first principles approach is 4 points in the first principles. So we are going to there now. Okay. So this is the first principle of the marketing strategy. Yeah. The first principle, this is the first principle. The marketing principle number 1 is that all customer differs. All customer differ. There is no same customer. All customer is differs. That is marketing principle number 1. Yeah. So let's put it on the top, on the title first. The marketing principle is aligning key marketing decisions with the first principle of the marketing strategy. Yeah. Marketing principle aligning key marketing decisions with the first principles of marketing strategy. So the marketing principle number 1 is all customer differ. Therefore, the key marketing decision, we need to manage customer heterogeneity. Marketing principle number 2 is all customer change. They change accordingly with their lifestyle stage. There is a single, married, divorce, death. Yeah. So the all customer change. So the key marketing decision is to manage the customer dynamics. This is the idea, the concept. Marketing principle number 3, all customers react. They will react to all of the actions, yeah, from your competitor. They will all react. And the key marketing decision will be managing sustainable competitive advantage. Because we talk about all competitors, we need to maintain our competitive advantage. So we need to manage our sustainable competitive advantage. Marketing principle number 4, all resources are limited. There are scarcity of capital. Scarcity of capital, that the key marketing decision is that we need to manage our resource trade-off. You need to use your scarcity of capital for the best output, the highest profit. Yeah. So this is the first principle of marketing strategy. The first principle is the foundation concept on which a theory, system, or method is based. So this is our first principle on the marketing strategy. Questions? So far so good? Capish? Questions? No questions? All right. All right, so first principle number 1. All customers differ. So for most products and services, customers vary widely on desires or needs. Yeah? So let's say when you go to Transmart. In Transmart, there are 60,000 SKUs. Yeah? 60,000 SKUs. Why so many? So many SKUs. Let's say there is Aqua. What else? What is the category? Aqua, and then the product name. Aqua. What else the competitor? Aqua.
Le Minerale.
Oh yeah, Le Minerale. Okay, what else? Blah blah.
Fit.
Yeah, blah 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 lah ya. So this is all H2O. Only water. But the SKUs, shopkeeper units, we have more than Aqua. There is 1 gallon, or 1 liter, 2 liter, 5 liter. So these are all the SKUs. Plenty of SKUs for only H2O. Only H2O. Yeah. Why? Yeah. So because all customer are different. One prefer Aqua, one prefer Le Minerale, one prefer just distilled water. Yeah. So because all customer differ, that's why Transmart create having 60,000 SKUs. Yeah, for all of us, because all of us are different. So the firms are targeting smaller and smaller segments. The firm is targeting smaller and smaller segments. Long time ago, they do only mass marketing. In United States, they have the who developed the first car in the United States? The T model. This is the T model. I think I forgot the name. Who developed the car in the United States? He developed T model for
Ford.
Yeah, Ford. Not Ford. Not Ford.
Henry Ford.
Henry Ford.
He made
Yes,
the
it is.
model.
Henry Ford.
Yeah.
Good job. Henry Ford developed the T model, the first car ever. So that first car is towards all the American mass marketing. He do mass marketing. Now it is going into, okay, I like sport car, I like wagon, I like camper van, I like family car. Then it goes into niche marketing. Yeah. And even into smaller segment, one-to-one marketing. Okay, I want the car blue here, yellow here, one-to-one marketing. So the firms are targeting smaller and smaller segments. Then there are competitive race as firms target smaller segments. So more company targeting smaller segments. Yeah. And the cars is now having lot of models refer to customer needs and wants. Why? Because there are customer desires, which is real desires or perceived desires. Real desires, oh okay, I want a car. Perceived desires, I want a camper van. I want 4x4 for off-roading. I want to have camper van. I want to go overland. So, okay, there is perceived desire. And also faster response towards the trends and changes. Customer trends and changes. So when Fitra Eri said that, okay, BMW A830 is very good. So there is, the trend is going back to the 90s, yeah. So the trend is going back to 90s. Finding the BMW E60, E30, blah blah blah. So faster response toward trends and changes. So that's why the customer become more different, and also technology enable. Currently, technology enabling us to customize the product very fast. Let's say you go to the store buying some t-shirt, and okay, I want the t-shirt red, and there is some writings here, never afraid. Okay, and then the machine works, and within 5 minutes the products come out. So technology enabling us to do customization very fast. I developed once the engine recommendation engine for the bank, whether they would like to interest into the mortgage, investment product, like Snap, like that. So the customer come and then telling you the name and the account number, and then the engine will calculate what is the recommendation for Mr. Putra. What is the product that you offer? Accordingly with the transaction, demographic, etc. Okay, the priority is for the credit card, mortgage product, unsecured loan, blah blah blah. So the technology enable us to come with the recommendation very fast. Yeah. So that is why all customers are different. Any questions? Right. So in this marketing principle, there are, the process is to manage the customer heterogeneity. Yeah. So when all the customer differ, we need to manage customer heterogeneity. What is the process? So we need to have the inputs, process, and output. Input, process, and output. Input, process, managing the customer heterogeneity, and output. In managing customer heterogeneity, what is the inputs? The inputs are all potential customers' needs, their demographics data, the size, the growth, the perception data, and then your company strength and weaknesses, your opportunity and threats, and then your competitor strengths and weaknesses, and opportunity and your competitor opportunity and threat. What is strengths? Something that you have. What is strengths? No, opportunity first. What is opportunity? Opportunity is something, condition that influence you, which is beyond your control. You cannot control that. That is opportunity. it become opportunity if it drives your sales to increase. Then we call it opportunity. Okay, so opportunity is the influence that beyond your control, but increasing your sales. What is threat? Influence that beyond your control, but reduce your sales. That is opportunity and threat. So you cannot control, but in the end, the sales goes down. That is threat. COVID-19 become opportunity if your company sales going up, like let's say medical equipment, yeah. So that is opportunity. But for the construction, it become threat because the sales going down. And then strength. You call it strength if the opportunity, as if the product going up, sales increase given the opportunity. So it's your strength. Your product or services is going up given the opportunity. But if your product or services going down given the opportunity, then it is your weakness. So when your product become weakness, you need to create new product, where your new product will increase given the opportunity. So that is strength and weakness, opportunity and threat. Capish? Questions on the point? Yes.
Can we say for the opportunity and the threats, it depends on the product itself.
Yes.
For example, if we have a pandemic, right?
Yes.
But some business in pandemic cannot survive, but other business in pandemic can be more profitable,
Yes.
such as in medical things. Yes. So this theory is, can we say, it's not irrelevant for some case?
Why irrelevant?
Because it depends on the product.
All right. So there is positive externalities. Okay, let's do it. The COVID become opportunity and threat. When it become opportunity, if the COVID increase your sales, then COVID become opportunity. Capish? Okay. When it become threat, if the COVID reduce your sales, COVID reduce my sales, that's a threat. Capish? Okay. And then you have a product. Let's say handy phone. This handy phone during COVID going up. This is my strength. Okay, given the condition, it is going up. This is my strength. But given the condition, let's say my product is tablet. It's during the COVID, it is going down. Then my product is a weakness now because I lose money. Yeah, I lose money. So the product is my weakness. Is that well received, Emma?
Yes, Pak.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, good. So very simple answer, yeah, but that explains that is the point. Okay, so given the inputs, yeah, of 3 C's: the customer data, your company data, your competitor data, the 3 inputs. And then we process the data. The approach and process to develop using we have the factor analysis, the cluster analysis, the GE matrix, discriminant analysis, then classification analysis. We develop the segmenting, targeting, positioning, STP. So we segment we conduct the segmentation using the clustering, targeting and positioning, and then perceptual mapping to see what is the perception of customer toward your products, toward all the products, your product and competitor product. Let's see like this. Okay, like this. This is your product. This is competitor product. This is customer perspective. Okay, you are let's say in the price and in the features, something like that. So your product is expensive, but price is very high, but the features is low. Like this. Or the price is low, but the feature is low. The price is cheap, the feature is high. Product is low, but the feature is also low. So this is the perceptual mapping. And then customer-centric view, accordingly with the eye of the customer. What is the output? The output will be STP, segmentation, the customer segment. We identify their needs, their demographics, opportunity for each segment. Who is the target segment? And then what is your positioning towards the customer? Who is the target? What is the benefit that you offer? And why they should choose you, not the competitor. So this is the output of the marketing principle number 1, that we develop marketing managing customer heterogeneity. Any questions? Questions? Okay. And then what is the segmentation here? So we have, okay, the segment is the transaction is resto lover, let's say resto lover, and then the needs is spicy food, and then opportunity for each segment. How many people is there? Population. That is resto lover, population of the segment. And then you target the resto lover customer, the resto lover, and then identify the demographic, where do they live, location, and then the value of the target segment, the population. Let's say 10% of them. What is the transaction? Average transaction 50,000 rupiahs. Okay, that is how much the value of the customer. So identifying your industry segmentation, what is your target segment, and then how do you position yourself in the head of the customer. That is on the marketing principle number 1. Questions? All right. And then we come into first principle number 2. In marketing principle number 2, all customers change. The concept is all customer change. There are the people dynamics. They have a dynamic situation. Let's say you just born, go to school, graduated, working, getting married, and then having children, getting old, yeah. So all the customer change, yeah. What is the input data? So the input data will be so the CRM data will be your customer data, the past marketing programs, and the lost customer you have. What about that? So your customer data, it will consist of individual customer sales. What do they buy? How much they buy? How many times they buy? Yeah. So when do they buy? They buy weekly, monthly, etc. So basically, this is your historical data, yeah, of the customer transaction. And then the past marketing program, which marketing program works, which marketing program don't work, yeah. Past program, what is the result of the programs, yeah? What is the result of your programs? And then which customer going churn, yeah? Who is the customer that you lost? Who are the customer that you lost? So this is the inputs of the data. And then we process the data to manage the customer dynamics. How do we process the data? Using the customer lifetime value analysis, hidden Markov model analysis, choice model, factor, cluster, discriminant analysis model. And the approach is to develop the life cycle approach, data, dynamic segmentation approach, acquisition model, expansion model, retention model, what kind of people who that most likely will buy the product, the acquisition model, yeah, using the discriminant analysis model, expansion, retention model, what kind of program that retain the customer the most, yeah, and then lost customer approach. So for the customer that is lost, the churning data, how to bring them back. So we need to manage our customer dynamics. They come and go, yeah. We need to maintain people who come and spend a lot on us, to not let them move to the other competitor who is spending a lot on us. When they move to the competitor, we need to create campaign to bring them back, to retain them, and then the good customer in the other competitor, we need to acquire them, the acquisition model. Yeah. So we need to also identify the life cycle approach. When they are married, what kind of product they would like to have. When they have children, what kind of product that they would like to have. So in order to manage the change of the customer, we need to manage the customer dynamics. All of the options for customer dynamics, we need to calculate to get the output of customer personas. So we talk about the customer personas now. So we talk about customer personas. Yeah. Since we have the life cycle approach. Yeah. And then needs and CLV of personas. What is the needs of them? And then why and how they migrate. Yeah. So we identify the segmentation of the customer personas based on their needs, and their life cycle approach. Okay, when there is the customer will change, yeah. So after they get married, what do they want? What kind of product do they want? After they get children, what kind of product do they want? So we create the life cycle approach of the customer. We identify the most path, the most journey that customer will go through. And then we have the product and services to serve to them. And then the acquisition, expansion, and retention positioning statements. How best to position the firm in each of the persona. Yeah? In the acquisition, in the expansion, and in the retention. How best to position the firm in each of the persona. So let's say the persona we have 5 persona. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persona. In each of the persona, maybe this is in, let's say we are Traveloka. This one is in ticket.com. Okay, what is our acquisition model? So the ticket.com customer, which persona is the same with our target segment, to convert to Traveloka. And then the expansion, yeah, retention. What about our customer that already moved to ticket.com? What is our retention? That they want, that they are starting to convert to ticket.com. We need to conduct retention program to maintain them as our customer. What is our retention model? So based on acquisition strategy, expansion strategy, and retention strategy, we develop a model to keep them in our company. So what is, when we have the model, we have the model on the acquisition, expansion, and retention. What is the strategy? What marketing strategy work best for each of the persona? What is the campaign for retention? Okay, so when we have the retention model, who are the customer that need to be retained? What is the campaign we develop for them? What is our campaign strategies to them? Let's say you have the 50% discount for Traveloka. Okay, I come back. I'm not in ticket.com anymore. I come back to Traveloka. What is our acquisition strategy? Okay, you have redemption point if you buy the ticket from us. So the ticket.com customer convert to Traveloka. So this is marketing principle number 2. All customer is changed, and we need to manage the customer dynamics. Questions? Putra? Siapa tadi mana? Any questions?
No, sir. I'm good.
So far so good?
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Okay. First principle number 3. All competitors react. Yeah. Competitors always copying successful strategies and innovating new ones. Yeah. Given enough money and time, most strategies can be copied. So the company need to build a barrier. We need to build a barrier to being copied, giving them time to adopt and innovation by others. So this barrier is to confirm our sustainable competitive advantage. If they can copy our product or service, then we cannot maintain our SCA, sustainable competitive advantage. In order to maintain our sustainable competitive advantage, there are three conditions that we need to maintain. First is that customer care after self-service. So we need to maintain customer care. And then we need to do it better than competitors. We are the best. And then number three, our product or services must be hard to duplicate. Okay? So the sources of the sustainable competitive advantage is that we need the sources of sustainable competitive advantage are brands, relationship, and innovative offerings. Or we can say it BOR. Brand, offerings, and relationship. Brands, the image, the status of our product. Offerings, the patents, trade secrets. Yeah. And then the relationship, our relationship with the customer. So we need to maintain our brand, innovation offerings, and relationship in order to manage sustainable competitive advantage, because all competitors will react. Yeah? All the competitors will react. They will develop corporate actions. Corporate actions. Everything that we did, they will create corporate actions toward our strategy. They will create response, not actions. They will create response to our actions. So, in order to maintain our sustainable competitive advantage, then we need to develop our strategy on the marketing principle number 3, that all competitors will react and we need to manage sustainable competitive advantage. How to? This is the how to. So the input will be the positioning statements. Who is our target customer? Yeah. And what is our statements positioning on the acquisition, expansion, and retention? And then what is our strategies for the acquisition, expansion, and retention? Because this is dealing with other companies. This is dealing with the competitor. We need to conduct acquisition toward the competitor. We need to expand and merger or conduct acquisition to the competitor. And we need to retain our customer, not to convert to the competitor. What are our acquisition, expansion, and retention strategies? And then what is the future trend ahead? What is the new technology that is coming? So this is now 4G. It is going to 5G. What will happen in 5G? So all handy phone drop because they do not cater 5G. So we need to develop new product that cater 5G. So something like that. Future trend. What is the future trends, upcoming trends? What is the regulatory trends? Okay, the regulatory, we cannot allow because the data privacy is very sensitive now. So when you create application, you must not allow this and that. Even though they do not allow it, you need your application to run in the system. And then socio-economic trend. What is a socio-economic trend in the future? People is having systemic mistrust. Nobody trust anybody because everybody afraid of getting COVID-19. So they want to keep distance with everybody else. No meeting inside the room, meeting only outdoors, something like that. So the future trend in the socio-economic trend. Given the target of the external customer, this means target external customer, yeah. So the ticket Traveloka targeting the ticket.com customer. Okay, we are targeting the ticket.com. And then what is your expansion strategy or acquisition strategy? Acquisition will be targeting one on the customer. Expansion will be acquisition, merger, yeah, force acquisition, etc. On the corporate level, as what Emma before asked. Yeah. So given these inputs, we conduct managing the sustainable competitive advantage. How to? By using field experiment, conjoint analysis, multivariate regression, choice model. This is the analysis that we can do to create the approach and process. So we have the sustainable competitive advantage, and then what is our developing our brand offering relationship equity stack, the acquisition, expansion, retention strategy, and brand of innovation offering and relationship equity grids, brand and relationship management, innovation process. Where the outputs are, what is your sustainable competitive advantage and why you win now? What is your sustainable competitive advantage and what is your future competitive advantage? How you will win in the future? This is what important the most because we are talking about the future trend. In the future, what variable of sustainable competitive advantage that you have to be equipped with? And then what is your BOR strategy? Your brand, your innovation, offering, and relationship management strategies. What kind of brand strategies that will be related with the future trend? What kind of innovation strategies that will be related with the future trend? What is relationship marketing strategies that will be related with the acquiring that external customer one? So this approach will develop the output of sustainable competitive advantage in the current time and in the future, and also the BOR strategies accordingly with your target of expansion and future trends. Questions on the first principle number 3? Questions? No questions? Cool. All right. So we are talking about the general concept first. Yeah. So I give you explanation of the general concept before we come into each concept of the principle number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So let's go to first principle number 4. All right. So in first principle number 4, all resources are limited. scarcity of capital. You have a scarcity of capital. Most marketing decisions require trade-off across multiple objectives where resources are constrained and often interdependent. Yeah. So there are opportunity costs when you select this product, and then you will losing the opportunity of using the other products. Yeah. So there is trade-off in your decision. You have a scarcity of capital, therefore your scarcity of capital need to balance with the marketing resource across STP, the acquisition, expansion, and retention stage, brand offering relationship, and marketing mix elements, 4 P's until 7 P's. Yeah. So we need to balance our resources across your segmentation, targeting, positioning, acquisition, expansion, and retention, brand offering and relationship, and marketing mix elements. So there will be 3 main inputs on the frameworks. There are positioning statement, AER strategy, board strategy. And there are 2 main outputs. There are marketing metrics, plan, and budget. As market segment change due to the changes in the customers or the competitive landscape, the metrics and resource allocations decisions need to be adapted continually. So when the market segment change, landscape change, the resource metrics need to be adapted continually. So this is the marketing principle number 2. Given that we have scarcity of capital, we need to manage our resource trade-off. Yeah? We need to manage our resource, be given our scarcity of capital. So the input will be positioning statements, who, what, and why. And for each the persona, we have a lot of persona. What is the positioning statement for each of the personas across the acquisition, expansion, and retention stages? What is your stages now? It is acquisition. What is your positioning statement for each of the persona? Let's say you are a bank. Basically, your customer, the whole persona is your customer. The whole persona is your customer. And then the whole customer has also saving account in other banks. What is your acquisition strategy to conduct acquisition of their money in the other bank? Or you want to do expansion to other company? Yeah. Or you want to do retention to maintain your customer. And then the acquisition, expansion, retention strategy. What strategies work best for each persona? Yeah. What strategy that work best for each persona? You have done this in the principle number 3. So it become inputs in principle number 4. Board strategy. You have get it in the output of stage number 3. Principle number 3. It is becoming input in principle number 4. So in the principle number 4, we need to manage the resource trade-off using heuristic approach, attribution approach, and the analysis using anchoring adjustment, response model, and experimental models, where the outputs will be the marketing metrics. So there will be finance marketing metrics. What is the variable that that the indicator that you use to measure the performance of your scarcity of resource. What is the financial metrics? How many sales you have? How many sales that you need to conduct? Yeah. How many in the marketing? In products? How many in the product? How many feature you need to develop? How to which company you need to do partnership to conduct the acquisition program? Yeah. So there will be marketing metrics here. And plans and budget. What is the plan? How much is the budget for each of your marketing metrics? What is the budget size, budget allocation, and time horizon? When you will do it, until when? How many people will be involved? How much money do you need? So, because our resources are limited and we need to manage our resources. So far so good? Capish? Questions? Really? Looks like getting me mine, eh? Headache. Any questions? Alright, so this is, yeah, questions? Okay, so this is the 4 marketing principle for the first principle. So this is the 4 first principle in marketing strategy. So integrating the first principle of marketing, we have the 4 condition. The marketing principle number 1, all customer differ. Yeah. What is the marketing strategy there? We conduct STP, perceptual mapping, customer centricity, the clustering analysis. This is for the principle number 1. And then we create and then principle number 2, all customer dynamics, all customer will change. So we need to conduct life cycle analysis, acquisition, expansion, retention model, lost customer model, customer life cycle value analysis, lifetime value analysis. So we need to create this. And then in the all customer differ, we have the positioning statement. And in the managing customer analytics dynamics, we have the AER positioning and strategies. And then all the competitor react. We need to manage sustainable competitive advantage given the positioning statement and AER positioning and strategies. And then we process the data, and then this become input, and then we process it to manage the sustainable competitive advantage and resulting with the current sustainable competitive advantage and the future competitive advantage. And then the brand innovation offerings and retention strategies. Yeah. So this is the output. And then given the positioning, given the AER, and given the BOR, becoming the input for the principle number 4, managing the resource trade-off. Yeah. Where we have scarcity of capital we need to make sure that our scarcity of capital will be used efficiently, effectively to achieve our objective plans within the budgets and accordingly with the metrics that we develop on our achievement. So this is the integration of the first principles of marketing. That is the point. When 10 years ago, when I start the data science project, mostly all the approach on the marketing strategy is in here. Yeah, and here. Yeah, only these two. So we develop the managing the segmentation and then creating the plan, budget, and metrics. That's all. But in the last 5 years, I see as a data scientist having the project in the marketing, we are all going into this too. That we need to, because the customer is changing every time, every day, every month they change, we need to manage the customer dynamics the most. Otherwise, we will be left behind if only focus on this. And also, the competitor also will react every time we conduct corporate action or marketing action. They will react. So we need to make sure that our sustainable competitive advantage is still there. We need to make a barrier to make sure that those competitors do not jeopardize our sustainable competitive advantage. So this is the current marketing strategy that integrating the 4 first principles. Questions? Any questions? Do you all follow me? Capish?
Pronto.
Good, Emma. Good job. All right. What about the others? Any problem digesting the material tonight?
Yes, still digesting, Pak.
Yeah. So this is new. Yeah, this is new because that's why Prof. Arif request me so that to keep our marketing management strategy relevant with the market. So that's why we need to give you this kind of model, because this is the current situation in the marketing. Not only focusing in here and here, but it is now getting into managing customer dynamics and managing the sustainable competitive advantage with our competitor. Right? So next week we will discuss more deeper into each of that, and then we will conduct demos and you will get your assignments to develop that. There are a lot of tools available in the market. There are SPSS or there is coding like Python. Anybody here have done coding before? Ruli? Emma?
I'm not.
Okay.
No.
So we can do, but if you interested, we can do the coding with R, with Python, if you are interested. Do you have the interest on
Yeah.
coding?
Yes, Pak. I'm interested, Pak.
Okay. So, all right. I will send you the books marketing analytics using Python. So you can read it first, and then I can also send you the videos of the marketing analytics using Python. So next week we will be a lot more easier in discussing the material. All right. So yep. So that is all the material for today. Before we continue to post test, any questions? No? All right. All right. So we continue to the post test. Wait a second.